Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Carnival of Lost Souls. It had been decades since the flickering lights of the carnival had cast a warm glow over the small town of Ravensbrück. The townsfolk had long forgotten the laughter that once echoed through the air and the joyous melodies of the carousel's music. The Carnival of Lost Souls had become a distant memory, a relic of the past, until one fateful night when the wind carried a haunting melody, and the lights mysteriously flickered back to life. The news of the carnival's revival spread like wildfire, reaching the ears of thrill-seekers and curious souls alike. Whispers of otherworldly wonders and mystical attractions enticed those willing to take a chance on the long-forgotten spectacle. The townspeople, cautious but intrigued, gathered on the outskirts as the once-abandoned carnival now stood before them, a beacon in the night. The entrance was adorned with faded banners promising the extraordinary hall of mirrors that reflected your deepest fears, a Ferris wheel that soared into the unknown, and a sideshow promising to reveal the secrets of the afterlife. The air was thick with anticipation as the first brave souls stepped through the creaking gates. Once inside, the carnival seemed to defy the laws of time and space. The attractions whispered secrets to those who dared to listen, and the flickering lights cast eerie shadows that danced on the rusted rides. The air was charged with a sense of foreboding, yet the visitors pressed on, lured by the promise of something beyond their wildest imagination. As the night deepened, the carnival transformed. The once familiar rides twisted into grotesque shapes, and the laughter that once echoed became haunting whispers that seemed to emanate from the very shadows themselves. The visitors, now trapped within the carnival's confines, felt a growing unease. The Hall of Mirrors, a maze of distorted reflections, became a nightmarish journey into the darkest recesses of the soul. Each reflection showed not only the physical appearance but also the hidden fears and regrets of those who dared to peer into the mirrors. Some were driven to madness, unable to distinguish reality from the grotesque illusions that surrounded them. The Ferris wheel, once a symbol of innocent joy, now carried its riders to heights that defied the laws of physics. As the cabins reached the zenith, the world below twisted into a surreal landscape of tortured souls and monstrous creatures. Desperation set in as the riders realized that the descent would never come, and the carnival had become a prison of eternal torment. The sideshow, with its promises of glimpses into the afterlife, revealed a macabre truth. Those who entered the tent found themselves face to face with their own demise, a grotesque display of their final moments. The air was thick with the stench of mortality as the trapped visitors watched their own deaths unfold before them, unable to escape the horrifying spectacle. As the night wore on, the carnival's malevolent presence intensified. The once enticing attractions now became instruments of torment, and the laughter that echoed through the air turned into anguished cries. The carnival had ensnared the souls of its visitors, twisting their reality into a nightmarish realm from which there seemed to be no escape. The townspeople, witnessing the horror unfolding within the carnival, could do nothing but watch in terror. Attempts to tear down the gates were futile, as the carnival seemed to defy any physical or logical explanation. It had become a cursed entity, a vortex of despair that fed on the fear and anguish of those unlucky enough to enter its grasp. The Carnival of Lost Souls had reclaimed its place in the annals of Ravensbrück, not as a source of joy and wonder, but as a malevolent force that trapped the living in a nightmarish purgatory. The once vibrant lights now burned with an otherworldly intensity, casting a sinister glow that could be seen for miles around. The town, now haunted by the echoes of tortured souls, stood as a chilling reminder of the folly of curiosity. The carnival, having feasted on the despair of its victims, faded back into the shadows, leaving behind an abandoned, decaying husk that would forever be etched into the nightmares of those who had witnessed its resurrection. Ravensbrück became a town marked by tragedy, a place where the memories of the Carnival of Lost Souls lingered like a ghostly presence. The once thriving community was now a desolate shell of its former self, haunted by the spectral echoes of a night when the line between the living and the dead was irrevocably blurred. And so, the Carnival of Lost Souls vanished once again, leaving behind a town forever scarred by the horrors that lurked within its decaying gates. The wind carried away the haunting melody, and the flickering lights faded into darkness, taking with them the secrets of the otherworldly wonders that had trapped the lost souls in a nightmarish realm with no escape. Years passed, and the once infamous Carnival of Lost Souls became a cautionary tale whispered from one generation to the next. The town of Ravensbrück, scarred by the nightmarish events of that fateful night, slowly began to rebuild itself. Yet the memories lingered, etched into the collective consciousness of the community like a lingering curse. Despite the passage of time, the scars ran deep. The townspeople avoided the outskirts where the carnival had once stood, as if the very ground itself held a malevolent force. Superstitions flourished, and the curious tales of the carnival's reappearance became legends that parents used to frighten misbehaving children. However, as the years turned into decades, a new generation emerged, one that viewed the tales of the Carnival of Lost Souls as nothing more than myth. The warning signs and faded banners were long gone, replaced by the overgrowth of nature claiming what had once been a place of unspeakable horrors. It was on the eve of the 10th centennial celebration that a group of adventurous teenagers, fueled by a rebellious spirit and a desire to challenge the supposed curse, decided to explore the abandoned grounds. Drawn by the whispers of the carnival's infamous past, they ventured into the forgotten realm. The air crackled with an eerie energy as they passed through the rusted gates, their footsteps echoing in the emptiness. At first, the atmosphere seemed unchanged, as if the horror of the past had been swallowed by time. The teenagers laughed and teased each other, dismissing the stories as old wives' tales. As night descended, the carnival stirred once again. Faint echoes of distant music reached the ears of the explorers, and the flickering lights sparked to life. The once dormant rides creaked and groaned as if awakening from a long slumber. Unbeknownst to the teenagers, they had triggered the resurgence of the Carnival of Lost Souls. The Hall of Mirrors beckoned them with its distorted allure, and the group hesitantly entered the maze of reflections. What had initially seemed like calmness fun turned into a disorienting nightmare. The mirrors revealed not only their fears but also the sins they thought were buried in the past. Friendships strained, and trust shattered as the illusions tore at the very fabric of their bonds. Meanwhile, the Ferris wheel creaked into motion, carrying the unwitting riders to heights that defied the laws of reality. Panic set in as they realized that the descent never came, and the once majestic ride now dangled them over a bottomless abyss. Each cabin became a prison of fear, and the joyous laughter of the carnival twisted into mocking echoes that reverberated through the night. In the heart of the carnival, the sideshow tent beckoned them to witness the secrets of the afterlife. The macabre display unfolded before their eyes, each member of the group forced to confront their own mortality in gruesome detail. The air thickened with the scent of decay, and the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred once again. The town, unaware of the resurgence, felt a strange unease as a spectral fog enveloped the outskirts. The wind carried the haunting melody, and the flickering lights cast a sinister glow visible from the center of Ravensbrück. The townspeople, sensing a disturbance, gathered at the outskirts, their eyes filled with dread as they witnessed the carnival's return. Desperation set in as the parents and others realized that history was repeating itself. Frantic attempts to tear down the gates were met with the same otherworldly resistance as before. The Carnival of Lost Souls had returned, and the town of Ravensbrück stood on the brink of reliving the nightmare that had haunted its past. The teenagers, trapped within the carnival's grasp, struggled to find an escape. The once forgotten horrors manifested with a vengeance, and the malevolent force that had lain dormant for decades now reveled in the chaos it unleashed. The carnival had become a living entity, feeding on the fear and despair of those who dared to enter its domain. As the night wore on, the carnival's grip tightened, ensnaring the souls of both the new victims and the residual echoes of the past. The boundaries between reality and nightmare blurred, and the town of Ravensbrück became a surreal landscape where the living and the dead coexisted in a twisted dance of despair. The once vibrant lights burned with an intensity that surpassed anything the town had witnessed before. The haunting melody, now a cacophony of anguished cries, echoed through the night, sending shivers down the spines of those who listened. The Carnival of Lost Souls had reclaimed its hold on Ravensbrück, and the town stood on the precipice of being consumed by the otherworldly horrors that lurked within its decaying gates. The wind carried away the chilling melody, and the flickering lights faded into darkness once more, leaving behind a town forever scarred by the relentless grip of the Carnival of Lost Souls. The outskirts returned to an eerie stillness, and the once abandoned ground stood as a testament to the cyclical nature of the curse that had plagued Ravensbrück for generations. The townspeople, haunted by the echoes of the nightmare, were left to grapple with the inexplicable horrors that had unfolded within the Carnival's grasp. Ravensbrück, now marked as a town forever entwined with the malevolent force, became a cautionary tale for future generations, a tale of a cursed carnival that emerged from the shadows to claim the lost souls that dared to enter its realm. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.